Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title of this video, this one is super special to me. I am recreating my wedding makeup. I had absolutely so much fun doing this for you guys. It was so much fun to sit down and get back in the same robe that I got ready in and put on this jewelry and put on this dress and relive the day. Honestly, I feel just as beautiful as I did on my wedding day, and I am so excited to just share this look with you guys and share some tips and tricks along the way. My wedding was hands down the absolute best day of my life. Josh and I literally relive it all the time. It was just so magical and so much fun. We were surrounded by all of our family and friends and loved ones, and honestly just had a huge party. That was like our number one thing, is we just wanted everyone to relax and just have a freaking good time, and that is exactly what we did. We partied all night long. We danced all night long. It was so amazing, and I'm just so thankful that we were able to have a wedding like we did and be surrounded by all of our loved ones and marry each other in front of all of those loved ones. So I think this is definitely one of the most special videos that I have done, just for myself, and I think that, I don't know, it's just fun. Who doesn't love bridal makeup? And I wanted an excuse to get back in this dress and get back in this jewelry and relive my day over and over again. So if you would like to see how I recreated my wedding day makeup, then please keep on watching. Alright guys, I am super excited to film today's video. I am going to be showing you my wedding makeup. For those of you that don't know, I got married 6 months ago to my handsome husband Josh, and the day was just absolutely magical. It was everything I could have dreamed of. It was just perfect from beginning to end. We had so much fun. It was by far the most fun night that I've ever had in my life. Fun day, fun week. I'm really excited just to sit down and film this with you guys. Ever since I decided what I wanted my wedding makeup to be, I knew that it would be a fun video to film, and also just kind of share with you guys some tips and tricks that I learned along the way to help prepare myself for my wedding and for my makeup and the longevity and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited to film this. Like, I am back in my robe that I got ready in, and I haven't worn this since my wedding day, and it's like totally nostalgic, like taking me back to the day. So I wish I could go back and relive that day like over 100 more times. It was that amazing. All right, I'm gonna stop rambling and let's get into this. Okay, so before you ever even touch your makeup, one of the most important things for your wedding day makeup is your skincare routine. It's really important to take really good care of your skin a couple months before your wedding. I suggest finding a regimen that works for you and making sure that you're washing, exfoliating, and moisturizing your face constantly. So that is exactly what I did before I sat down. I exfoliated, washed, and moisturized my face, so I am prepped and ready to go for some makeup. For my wedding day, I wanted to splurge a little bit on the primer, so I went ahead and picked up the Guerlain Gold Primer, and I actually really love this, which is like unfortunate because it's like $80, but it's a really good foundation. It keeps your skin tight and radiant, and it helps with the longevity as well. So I'm going to be applying this to my skin. All right, so for foundation, the combination that I used on my wedding day is this. I love to mix foundations. So the two that I use is the Estee Lauder Double Wear, the NARS Natural Radiant Long Wear Foundation. I love this combination. The Double Wear lasts forever, through the tears, through the smiles, through the laughs, and this just gave me a little bit more radiance. This is a pretty matte foundation, so I love the combination of these two, so that's what we're going to be mixing together. So I'm just going to be mixing the two on a little dish right here, and I'm going to do majority of the Double Wear and then just add a little bit in of that NARS. Then I'm just going to mix that around on this little dish right here, kind of create a little cocktail. And I am a lot paler than I was on my wedding day. I did tan. I went to Florida right before, so this shade is not going to match me, so I'm just warning you now. So the key for long wearing full coverage foundation that doesn't look cakey is to build with small layers. I like to use my beauty blender to do this because I feel like it just soaks up any extra product that I have on my skin, and it gives the most natural finish to my skin. Same trick with concealers. You want to work in small layers. You don't want to go and just put a bunch of product on initially. You want to work in small layers. So I'll probably build this up a couple of times. So now I'm just going to set my under eyes and my T-zone with some RCMA No Color Powder. This is probably my favorite product to achieve that bridal glow that everyone wants. This is the Lancome Absolute Powder, and this just gives the most gorgeous, like, radiant effect all over your face. So I'm going to set my entire face with this, and then I will also use this later to highlight. All right, another tip that I have is to use setting spray throughout your entire makeup. So once I'm done setting my powder, I'll go ahead and do a light spray of some setting spray just so my foundation and all those powders can kind of melt into the skin, and my makeup will look less cakey at the end result. I just quickly did my brows off of camera. For my wedding day, I did keep my brows pretty normal to what I usually do, but I did just soften them just a little bit just because I didn't want to look back on my pictures and have a really structured brow. I wanted it to look more natural, so I just followed my natural shape and then filled in accordingly. And in order to do that, I used my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow, and then I made sure to set my brows with a brow gel. I think that this is a super important step, especially on your wedding day, because the last thing that you want is any of your brows moving or rubbing off, especially when you're loving and kissing on your man. I just pulled you guys in a little bit closer so that way we could focus on the eyes together and you could really see what I was doing. So I used one palette for my wedding day, and that is the Jaclyn Hill x Morphe palette. This is one of my all-time favorite palettes. I have 2 of them. I use it almost every single day. I think the colors in here are just beautiful. They're formulated so well, so this is the only thing I brought with me on my wedding day to complete my eyeshadow. One thing that I am going to do is I'm just going to lightly set some translucent powder under my eyes. I'm not using any crazy colors, but I just want to make sure that if I do have fallout, it doesn't mess up the base that we just worked so hard on. Setting powder under your eyes also helps give guidance for the shape of your eyeshadow, especially if you are winging it out like I'm going to today. So that's why I just placed the translucent powder right from the corner of my eye to my eyebrow, just to kind of create a sharper line, so that way I have guidance when I'm going in with my eyeshadows. Another important step that you want to do to ensure the longevity of your eyeshadows, make sure they're not creasing or anything like that, is to use a primer or to prime your eyes somehow for eyeshadow. Personally, I like using concealer. It's just what I've always done, so I'll go ahead and lay down some concealer and then set it with some translucent powder. To start my eyeshadow, I'm going to dip into the 4th shade in the palette, and I'm taking that on a Morphe R37, just a tapered blending brush, and I'm going to start to kind of map out the shape that I want. I'm just making sure I keep this in the upper crease area. I'm going to wing it out slightly. So for me, when I was deciding whether or not I wanted to do my makeup, I honestly struggled with that decision for about a year. I had several makeup trials with several different artists because the idea of like not doing my makeup sounded awesome. The fact that I could just relax and not have to worry about it, like that was appealing to me, but I could never find an artist that did my makeup like I did my makeup. And I don't know, something about makeup for me, it's relaxing and it's distracting. So I really like that I chose to do my makeup on my wedding day because it gave me something to do and I wasn't like sitting there in my nerves all morning. So I was able to really just like focus on my makeup, and that way it ensured that I loved it because I was doing it. And then once I decided that I wanted to do my makeup, it took me probably like 8 months to figure out what look I wanted to do. I tried so many different looks. I played with makeup almost every single night trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I probably had like 50 pictures in my phone of makeup looks that I tried, and I finally settled on this. I waited until I got closer to the day, and because you're learning new things, you're trying new things, so I just waited until I got closer and then I settled on this. And then once I had my like hair trial and it saw everything together, I was like, that's exactly what I need to do. All right, so taking a Morphe M433 brush, I'm going to dip into this cool brown shade in the palette, and we're going to further map out our crease. All right, so I'm taking that same brush and now I'm gonna dip into the dark brown in this palette, and we're just gonna deepen that crease up even more. This is what we have so far for the eyeshadow. Very soft, very smoky, super cute. Okay, so now with the same brush, I'm going to just dip into the tiniest amount of black, like the teeny tiniest little bit of black, and I'm just gonna concentrate that on the outer corners, making sure to tap off my excess because black can go from really good to really bad really quickly. Now I'm just taking another small tapered blending brush. This is a Morphe JH33, and I'm dipping back into that 3rd shade in the palette and just very lightly buffing out the edges. All right, so now we are going to go into the showstopper of this look, which is the lid color. Honestly, when Jaclyn first came out with this palette and I saw her post about this color, I was like, I need that palette specifically for my wedding makeup. That color I have been looking for probably 3 years at this point. It's the perfect, like, smoky, cool tone, kind of beige, not gold, not silver, like right in the in-between. I think it's absolutely perfect. This color is super reflective and super beautiful. It's probably one of my favorite eyeshadows like ever. I'm just softly kind of cutting my crease with this eyeshadow. All right, so you should have something like this right now. This color is literally so good. I don't have any of the names on this palette. It was supposed to come with like a little name sheet and I never got it, so I apologize that I don't know the colors, but I will point them out to you guys. Now I'm going back in with that Morphe M433 brush, and I'm gonna dip into that brown that we were using again and just kind of buff out these edges. So you should have something like this right now. I love this look so much. Oh, Chico. So now I'm going to highlight my brow bone and my inner corners, and I'm going to be using the first shade in the palette. All right, so that is the top of the eyes all completed. Just something very smoky and soft and just very like bridal. I'm feeling it, I love it. This turned out not exactly how I did it on my wedding day. It's a little bit darker on the outer corners, but I'm still feeling it, I still love it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do some liner and lashes off of camera, and I will be right back. Lashes are on. These are by far some of my favorite lashes. Honestly, I would wear these every day. These are Lily lashes in the style The Wedding Lash. I think these are so beyond beautiful. Honestly, one of my favorite pair of lashes, and I think it's so cute. You get this little box that you can keep your lashes. The ones that I wore on my wedding day, I just got them from Sephora, so it was the Lily Lashes like X Sephora collection, so they're not as high quality, and I didn't get the cute little box. So, wish I had this, but I got a second pair because I love them so much. A couple of things that I want to note about false lashes and everything that I just did off camera really quick. First things first, you wanna make sure that you use a waterproof mascara. Girl, you are gonna cry on your wedding day. I am not a crier, and I cried like a baby, so I made sure to use a waterproof mascara. I used the Colossal Big Shot mascara. The second thing that I want to note is your lash glue. If you choose to wear false lashes, whether that be strip lashes or individual, you want to make sure that you have a good glue. I would suggest picking up the House of Lashes glue. I believe this sells at Sephora as well. This is the best lash glue that I've ever used ever. When applied properly, it's actually waterproof. So my lashes did not budge the entire day. No lifted corners, no nothing. So I suggest that you get a really good lash glue. Even get your own lash glue and bring it to your makeup artist. If your makeup artist is doing your lashes for you, I really, really suggest House of Lashes eyelash glue. It is the bomb.com. The other tip that I have, and I used to see this all the time when I used to shoot high school senior portraits, is girls would put on too much glue. Now, if you're doing your own lashes, please practice before your wedding day. You wanna make sure that you don't put on too much glue, or else it can ruin your entire makeup and just kind of glob everywhere and even get in your eyeball and cause your eyes to water, which causes you to ruin your makeup before you actually cry. So please practice putting on lashes and get yourself some House of Lashes lash glue. This shit is the bomb. Okay, moving on. Okay, so I'm just going to wipe away all the bake that we have, and now we are going to work on our lower lash line. Really quickly before we move on to the lower lash line. So personally, I don't contour my nose. I hate my nose, it's crooked, and I feel like if I contour it, it just brings more attention to it. So on my wedding day, I just left it alone. But a trick that you can use for making your nose look more slimmer is just to bake the sides of your nose without putting any contour or bronzer on it. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna dip my sponge into my translucent powder, and I'm just going to bake the sides of my nose and let that sit there. Okay, so while that is baking, we are going to work on our lower lash line. For lower lash line, I'm pretty much gonna mimic everything that we did on the upper lash line on the lower, but we're gonna keep it nice and soft. All right, so I'm gonna take a little pencil brush. This is a Morphe M169, and I'm going to dip into that kind of cool toned neutral brown that we were using. And I'm gonna run that along my lash line. If I can find my mirror. I'm gonna run that along my lower lash line and kind of connect it to that eyeshadow up top. So taking that same brush with just the tip of the brush, because this brush is angled, if you can kind of see at the top, it kind of tapers. Just with the tip of the brush, I'm going to take the dark brown that we were using, and we're just gonna further deepen the lash line. And now with a flat angled brush, I'm going to dip into the slightest little bit of black and deepen that one last time. All right, and that is the lower lash line. So personally for me, I did not put anything in my waterline. I have very sensitive eyes, my eyes water, and I knew that I was just gonna cry anything that I put in there out anyway, so I just left it blank, kept my eyes just clean and fresh and comfortable. That's another very important thing, is you wanna make sure that your makeup look is comfortable. If you're not comfortable wearing false lashes, if you cry when you wear them, don't wear them. So I'm gonna leave my waterline blank and just apply a little bit of mascara to my lower lash line. All right, so that is the eyes all complete. Oh my gosh, this is like bringing me back to my wedding day all over again. Okay, so now I'm going to dust away that bake, and now I'm going to go back in with some setting spray, again, just to melt all the powders together before we finish the rest of our face. Now it is time to bring some color back to this face, and I'm going to bronze first. So I'm gonna dip into my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I'm going to take that on a Morphe M530. Just swirl that in. I like using a brush like this because it's a little bit more precise, and I wanna make sure I'm just having like the softest bronzer. Now we are going to contour just the slightest bit, and I'm going to take, these are the powders from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I just pop them out and put them in a smaller palette to travel easier. So I'm gonna mix these two colors, and I'm taking that on a Morphe M523 brush. The blush that I chose to wear on my wedding day is this real janky and real ugly and messy. This is a Wet n Wild brush, and this is in the color Apricot in the middle. It does have a little shimmer to it, which is what I wanted on my wedding day. So I'm just taking that on a Morphe R4 brush. One product I didn't have on my wedding day that I wish I discovered before my wedding day is the Hourglass Ambient Light Powder, and this is in the shade Luminous Light. This is like one of this, and then that Lancome powder is like the best glow products I've ever found. This just gives you the best like glow from within, just so natural, so radiant. So I wish I had this on my wedding day. I did not know about it. If I could go back, I would definitely have applied this. What I love about this powder is that you can really apply it anywhere, and I kind of do, but the main points that I like to apply it are just on the apples of my cheek, just to give a little bit more of a shimmery, just like radiant effect, and then I'll also kind of put it on my forehead, nose, and chin. All right, now for my actual glow, I'm going to go in with two products. The first product that I'm going to go back in with is that Lancome powder. Again, this is like, I don't think I could ever live without this powder now that I've discovered it. This is my second jar of it. I'm going to take that powder on a little highlighting brush. This is a JH09 brush, and I'm going to take that and apply it right on the apples of my cheeks and then bring it up. Oh my gosh, it just gives the best luminous glow. And then I'm going to take a smaller brush and put that on my nose as well. Oh, so good. So good. And then the highlight that I used on my wedding day is Jeffree Star Peach Goddess. It is a beautiful, very bright, blinding highlight. And of course, it's got a gorgeous peach color to it. So I'm going to apply a little bit of that right where I applied everything else. And I'll also bring this right on my cheeks. I think especially for bridal makeup, I love having shimmer on your cheeks because like when you smile, it just looks so radiant and beautiful. We are almost done. The last step before setting spray is lips. Now for lips, I decided to go with this as like my holy grail product. I'm sure you guys are not surprised by this if you know me at all. This is Jeffree Star liquid lipstick in the shade Mannequin. I literally use it so much it doesn't have any of the packaging. It's like all rubbed off. I decided to go with a liquid lipstick because I didn't want to have to worry about having to retouch all the time if I wore a gloss. Also, my lips peel very, very easily. So I made sure to go in with a chapstick before I sat down and filmed, and I made sure to drink tons and tons of water and apply chapstick like a mad woman about a month before my wedding so that my lips aren't crusty and they're nice and juicy and they wouldn't peel. And as far as lining goes, obviously you can do whatever you prefer, but for me, I didn't want to overline my lips. I have pretty naturally full lips, and I didn't want to look back at my pictures and be like, oh gosh, why did you overline? Or if something were to smear, I just wanted to keep myself looking very natural, but like a more radiant, elegant, glamorous, natural version of myself. Also, another point to liquid lipsticks, I see a lot of brides that will wear a lipstick or a gloss and be afraid to kiss their significant other, and I did not want that on my wedding day. I wanted to kiss Josh all the time, whenever I wanted, and not have to worry about my lipsticks. So that's why I think liquid lipsticks are a great option, but make sure that you try it out before because you want to make sure that it's a formula that works well with your lips and it's not too drying. Just gonna wipe away this bake. And last and most important step is that you want to set your face. Make sure you set your face. It will help with the cakiness as well as the longevity. You want to set that bitch like you've never set it before. Oh, my hand cramped up from doing that. All right, guys, that is it for this tutorial. I had so much fun sitting down and filming this. I got to relive my wedding day and just remember all the amazing times that we had. That weekend and that day was just so amazing, and I'm so happy I got to do this. I feel so beautiful. I feel just as beautiful as I felt on my wedding day. It's so crazy to be back in the same jewelry that I wore and my reception dress. Oh, it's just so crazy to sit here and do this and relive this with you guys. So I'm gonna stop rambling and being mushy. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, it was so much fun to make for you guys, and I hope you learned some tips and tricks along the way. If you are a bride getting ready for her wedding day, congratulations. I am so excited for you, and I hope your day is super magical. If you liked this video, then please give it a big thumbs up for me, and don't forget to subscribe. All of my information will be down below, but if you'd like to follow me on my Instagram, it is at Erika Medlin, and my Snapchat for more lifestyle and behind the scenes is at Erika_Medlin. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah! Bye. Do I look pretty? Do I look as pretty as I did on our wedding day?
Yes, you do.
I love you.
Love you.